And this is the one and only TQuest. You're tuned into the TQuest show, relatable, informative, yet entertaining. If this is your first time listening to the show, shout out to you. That means I'm a phenomenal promoter and I'm doing my job, or someone was smart enough to tell you about my platform and to tell you about the show. If you haven't already, make sure you go download that TQuest mobile app in your Google Play Store and your App Store for free. I'm holding at 5 stars strong. And I love those reviews. So you keep that going and make sure you follow me on all social media platforms for all my awesomeness, my entertainment, and any of my services. So today is going to be super awesome because we'll be interviewing an artist by the name of K September. We're going to get into that. We're going to listen to her song and, have a little fun. But at the same time, I actually have a special guest that's going to be having some fun with your girl T-Quest today. So let's just bring him right on in.
Hey,
Hi.
hey, what's going on, everybody? How you guys doing? I'm glad to be here on the TQuest show. What's good, TQuest?
Hey, chilling. Tell
Word.
the people who you are and where you're from.
All right. My name is Blizm. I am a multitude of things. Some people nowadays mostly know me as the founder and program director over at K100 Radio. But if you haven't been following me for longer than maybe 5 years, you may not know that I'm also an independent artist, producer, and an engineer. So I do all those things too. And I also do video editing and directing and stuff like that. I'm a media production major also as well. But most people know me as Blizm, either the artist, producer, or either Blizm, the guy that runs K100 Radio. So I'm happy to be a part of the show. I'm grateful for you to bring me on the platform, and I'm ready to chop it up and have a good time.
Awesomeness. So I think later on when K September calls in, we can play her song and get your feedback as well. Sounds good?
Okay, cool. Yeah.
All right. So before we get into all that, since in my mind you are a veteran at this, and I really don't like this question, but when it comes to you, I'm a little curious.
Mm.
How do you feel about where the state of music is today in the urban genres?
Well, it's twofold. Number
Mhm.
one, in the urban genre, is much less profitable. The music itself, like the actual music itself. You have to do all these other things now in order to monetize the music before, where back in the day, even if you wasn't getting a large percentage of it, you could still sell a song for a set amount. You could sell an album for a amount of money, hard copies and stuff like that. And so you could get it out the mud. You can go out your trunk and still go out and make $100,000 easy as an independent artist, and then make even more if you were signed to a deal. Although, again, most of those deals you probably wouldn't get in the money, but the music itself was more tangible. Now in urban music, although I love where it's at with technology, the technology has made it easier for other people to enter the game. You don't necessarily, quote unquote, need an artist. I mean, need a label. Artists don't need a label, but you do need the money that they can provide in the marketing budget. But you don't really need a label to create. Like this, I love the time where we're at right now when it's just a lot easier to create music, but still marketing and promoting the music, it still is what it is. You still need a bag for that. So I guess the state of urban music is, it's in a bad state because you just can't live off of it like you could, whether you got a deal or not. Like the labels are going broke, they're hurting too. But creatively, still cool. Urban music and hip hop and R&B has grown. They're grown now. They've had kids. We've got all these split multiple genres up under the genres, and so I'm cool with it at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's the interesting part about these split genres that you're talking about. Now, are you referring to what they call trap music or mumble rap and stuff?
I wouldn't necessarily call it. I mean, mumble rap is kind of like, you know, slick derogatory at the end of the day.
Mm,
Mumble rap is a way to kind of take a shot at somebody, but trap music is trap music. Trap music is a subgenre of hip hop, right?
absolutely.
So you've got these different kinds. You've got boom bap, you've got trap, you've got lo-fi, you've got all these different kinds because, again, and there's a disconnect. There's a generational, just age, like of demographic of audience. Like back in the day when hip hop came out, there was no demographic that was 40 for hip hop. It was new. Now you've got people like myself who are actually 40 years old who only listen to hip hop. Right? I don't ride around listening to no other kind of music except hip hop and some R&B. Right? But I'm 40. Right? So back in the day, that was like a 40-year-old in 1980 was like, man, get that out of here, but throwing some stylistic. So I don't know what you want me to throw on, whatever, but that's not it, But now
Mm-hmm.
my son, I have a senior in high school son who's 17 years old. We
Mm-hmm.
both technically listen to the same genre of music. He just listens to a different subgenre. I
Yeah.
listen to hip hop, but he doesn't listen to the hip hop that I listen to. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And so I
Yeah.
think it's really important and key to understand when it comes to hip hop and R&B. R&B has changed too in the same way. Yeah.
Absolutely. It definitely has changed a little bit. And it's funny because who was it? I think it was K Michelle who said she was so excited when Monica and Brandy did the verses because it's reminding people that there were R&B singers out there who actually can sing
Right.
and not just whispering. And of course, with social media being what it is, they made it seem as if she was throwing a jab at Gina Aiko.
Yeah, yeah. And here's the thing, like I think Janae Aiko can sing. First of all, I don't think she's just like trash. Like I think she can, But is she gonna bellow? Is she gonna like really come out and just pull it from the from beyond the diaphragm from the soul like
Mhm.
that? I haven't heard that, but also in the same token, and I can relate it to hip hop. There's
Mhm.
a lot of young hip hop artists who don't really have really great lyrical wordplay, but you dig it though. It's kind of like, yeah, I can kind of find myself bobbing my head to it. Of
Uh-huh.
course, they don't have the same pen game and lyrical prowess. So some of the younger, it's not necessarily required. Let's just be honest. Now,
Absolutely.
the younger generation just don't require you to be able to blow like Whitney. They
Mhm.
just don't require it. Can you make us feel a type of way over that beat? Are you talking about something that I can seriously relate to? You may not be the best singer, but they love that track, they love that beat, they like that hook, and so the just like with production, as a producer, the live instrumentation. You don't need a band anymore. You don't need anybody that actually knows how to play the piano or how to play the drums. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Absolutely.
I surmise that hip hop and R&B is just going through the same thing that producers went through about 20, 30 years ago when bands were being phased out by drum machines and keyboards and MIDI. You know what I'm saying? It's just like,
Mhm.
listen, fam, this stuff is growing and it's changing. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I love the way you worded that. And I keep trying to explain to people at the end of the day, music is evolving. So you
Mhm.
have to allow it to do that.
Yeah.
And like you said, sometimes it's not necessarily like with me and my DJ coalitions, we have conferences with different artists every night, and it's pretty much let them know if their song will work in our market, would it be played in rotation, etc. And sometimes I'll be like, look, I'm just taking your song for what it is. It's a good track.
Mhm.
It's it's new, it's refreshing, it's what's current right now, and kudos to you. I'm not gonna break it down like you could have been a little more lyrical. That's just not that artist. And it
Right.
is okay. At the end of the day, as long as you're putting out great content, we don't always have to be so hard and everyone, just like you said, when it comes to the singers. No, everyone is not going to be a Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey, especially not in today's society where music is going. You're not going to hear that as often, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And it's just that my I guess my key and my thing about all of it is what I and I'm gonna say this. What I don't like, the flip side of that coin, right? Of
Mm-hmm.
everything that I just said is when people act as if the artists that are still skilled like that are now irrelevant. That's where I come in and I'm like, hold on, fam. You know what I mean? Nah. No, listen. We can have 21 Savage and we can still have Scarface. I need for everybody to understand that you can have both. All right. So we're not just gonna play Drake 24/7, and we're not gonna just play 21 Savage. If Nas releases a new album, let's play some of that too, because he's still skilled, he's still talented. So my whole thing is, my only beef with all of it is that the industry itself likes to say, okay, hip hop has changed and it's evolved, and we've got new stuff. We've got new stuff, yeah, but that other stuff is still dope. Let's not act like those other singers and those other artists are just past their time and they need to just go away. That's one problem that I have with our genre of music. The Rolling Stones are literally still making money and touring, and they're 60, and
Mm-hmm.
they can pack out an arena. All of
Mm-hmm.
these other genres respect the elder statesman in a genre. I have a huge problem with our genres, our two main urban genres, hip hop and R&B, of acting as if because you're 40, because you're 50, your music shouldn't be listened to. It shouldn't be marketed. It shouldn't be promoted. You should just go away. That's the problem I have with it. It's room out here for everybody. And so I think the big labels and the companies have totally missed the ball on that particular part of the game and try to push away some of the artists that were still really actually getting better with time, like fine wine. You know what I'm saying? That would be the only response back that I would have to, just accepting everything, because I want everybody to eat at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And you're absolutely correct when it comes to the different genres. I'm like, why do we always have to get beat down when it comes to everything that we do?
Yeah.
I think it's kind of sick. Like recently, I've said on my shows, I've interviewed Big Daddy Kane and Professor Daddio and Tracy Lee, and I'm like, you guys are incredible. You may be hip hop legends, but you're still out here putting out great content where just reminding people it really doesn't have an age. Either you're hot or you're not, period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, every time I interview them, I'm like, thank you for being who you are. Thank you for still being relevant. Thank you for bringing out content and reminding people that if you love what you do and you are great at what you do, the right people is going to support you. But sometimes in our community, they don't be like you said, they make it seem like they're too old or to this, that, and the third. No, as long as you ain't up there with like a throwback jersey and trying to really be down, you just have to know how to present yourself when performing.
Right.
And do what you got to do. Like I'm telling you, like did you hear Tracy Lee's new album?
Not the new album, but I did hear the single. And also Big Daddy Kane just released content not too long ago that I actually heard that was dope. And so that's where it came in, like with me. And I don't know if if we'll get to it, about me recently releasing a song like after years of just kind of just falling back and only doing media. And I released a single about 2 weeks ago. And the video just came out last week, Time Changes, and it's been accepted with open arms by so many people. And the main recurring theme of it was, man, I wanted this. I needed this. This is what I was looking for. Like if you just go look at some of the comments on the videos and social media posts about when it dropped, like everybody's like, I love this record. This is like grown man rap. This is you're not talking, you're not trying to be 20 years old. No, I'm not trying to. I'm 42 years old. I'm going to rap like I'm 42 years old. So the content and the subject in the song matches my actual life right now. I'm in my home. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I got to talk about stuff that makes sense. You know what I mean? So for somebody that's living my actual life, if you're going to keep it 100. But so like Tracy Lee and like Big Daddy Kane and like other artists that are still putting out content, like I think like one of my favorite quote unquote older hip hop artists is Scarface. Scarface never ever took a dip in quality of music. Like even he's like all closer to 50 now, and he still drops bangers like when he drops a project. And so he's somebody that I looks up to as far as the genre goes. Charlie Wilson on the other end, like do I have to say anything? Like do I can just say Charlie Wilson and then we're done with that conversation, right?
Exactly.
So you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, yo, at the end of the day, I just want everybody to just be respected for what they do. If you dope, if you're 40, if you dope, if you're 45, you dope if you're 25, you dope if you're 15. But everybody needs to make room for everybody and just understand that what I put out may not be for you and your demographic, but there's somebody that likes it. Yeah.
There go. And they were actually speaking of demographic and when it comes to age and stuff, I've recently interviewed an artist that's I think around your age. And when it came to us critiquing him, he kind of used that to like work in his favor. Like, well, because nowadays when you older, sometimes I'm like, no, stop it. You're making an excuse. Either you're hot or you're not.
Right.
And this song is just not a go.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, I understand the concept behind it, about the family and the chilling and the cookout. And right now everyone's coming together. I get the concept.
Right.
And I understand you saying that the video explains it more. At the end of the day, first impressions is everything.
Yeah.
If I don't like your song the first time, I'm like, you know what? Let me go see if there's a video.
Right.
And maybe it would help me understand the song better.
Yeah.
No one acts like that.
Right, exactly.
Or some artists be like, well, I got some better songs on my album. It's got to go check out my catalog. If I don't like the single that you put out, why am I going to take my time to go listen to your catalog?
Exactly. And it's tough. And it's because, like I said, with me literally being that person, but now I don't know who you're talking about, so I haven't heard that song. My songs were accepted. Like my people still like the way I flow, because my flow is kind of, I don't have a flow that kind of ages. It's just like I can rap on a new beat, a trap beat, or whatever beat. And so my particular bars and structure and stuff allows me to be able to change with the times, right? As far as production wise, right? I have to rap on a 1990 boom bap beat in order for me to be able to get in my bag. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You can throw me on something that anybody, any young producer right now making beats on Fruity Loops make, and I'm gonna still crush and do what I do. But it's like when you are that old, you feel like, man. First of all, some of those artists feel like people owe them something, and nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes the younger artists anything, or nobody owes the older artists anything. You know what I'm saying? Now, some of the vets in the game who've sold millions of albums back when albums were still selling, put a little respect on their name. You know what I mean? Put a little respect on their name, and let's see what they got. I always give them a shot. Now, if it comes out and I turn it on, and I'm like, you missed me on that one, fam. But some of the older people, like if Snoop Dogg drops a record, I'm just gonna hit play on it. If it comes to my station and my broadcast over K100, I'm just gonna hit play. It's Snoop. All right, it's Snoop. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's certain people. I'm just gonna listen to it by default. Now, if it's not what's up, I'm like, yeah, okay, fam, I'll catch you on the next one. You can come back again. You know what I'm saying? But certain artists, I do give that credence to per se. But if you're, like you said, if you're a new person, if you never heard of this person, and if you're young, you didn't grow up on that music, so you don't owe them that kind of, like, you don't even know what they did back in the day. You were like in diapers when they were hot. You know what I'm saying? So you man, you kind of, you don't really necessarily owe anybody an ear at the end of the day. So I feel what you're saying. If it's hot, it's hot. And if it's not, it's not. It's just that you have to just, again, focus on your demographic. And that's what I did when I released this music. I kind of catered it to like a certain age group, and I talked about certain things that I feel like certain age group will relate to. But shockingly, which was weird, my son is in the video, and my son was sharing it on his page, and all his young friends are on the page like, yo, this is your pop. Yo, I love this record. I like this. And I'm like, oh, I really didn't make it for y'all, little youngin, but okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of in the comments on his Instagram, like, I didn't think y'all were gonna like it, but okay. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of weird when you pull them in too. You know what I mean?
No, I totally understand. I think this is a perfect time because our artist is about to call in, and we're gonna get some information about her, a new song that she released through Sony, and we're gonna chop it up. And then, I want to hear your feedback on her track. Okay?
Yeah, cool, no problem.
All right, we're gonna talk to K September. All right, so I'm about to play her song, and at the end of it, you just let me know your honest opinion, okay?
All right, cool.
All righty. Okay. So shout out to K September.
All right.
During the interview, as you heard, she spoke about how she started freestyling, always freestyle, and this was actually the first song she written
Right.
and put together, and it's being distributed by Sony and everything. And I was asking her about, like we spoke earlier, about the demographic for her song, and she pretty much, you heard, say that it's for whoever can just relate to the song is her demographic. So what's your take on the track?
I mean, I know, and a lot of artists are going to say that, and that's the answer that you should give. You technically should say, listen, whoever likes it, likes it. That's how I feel about mines. But if we're going to be grown-ups and talk about targeting and demographic and big business, and this is a multi-billion-dollar business, targeting and demographics, when you target, if you were to create an ad on social media, whatever, they give you these metrics to pick for a reason. There's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some scientifically and financially proven things that work and don't work with different age groups and sexes and people, right? So with all that being said, I feel like that would be a song that the younger generation would call, quote unquote, a vibe. It's a vibe. Like when you hear it, it's like, it's a vibe. It's not giving me like something complex, and something that I just feel like I just really need to just dive into and get into. It's like, I wrote a song for you. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? And I could probably sit back and probably, smoke my blunt or whatever and just sit back and listen to it and be like, yeah, I like that. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a good first introduction to an artist. You know what I mean? If that song came on, I wouldn't turn it off. I'd just be like, she gonna write a song for me? Let me hear what she about to say. You know what I'm saying? And the production on it is cool. And I feel like it's simple enough that the 14 to the 14 to 21 demographic, and also the 21 and 28 are definitely gravitate to it. Because she's rap singing, sort of, which is popular right now, where you kind of singing and rapping, kind of, sort of. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people like that right now. You know what I mean? A lot of people are winning with that particular formula. If you can kind of pull off both in a slick way over the right production, then you can win. So I feel like, it's like, I heard this song, it makes me go, I like it. It's cool. I want to hear more. I want to hear which way can she lean? Can she lean harder that way, or can she lean harder this way? You know what I mean? But it's a song that I'm like, yeah, I rock with it. I play it. Yeah.
Absolutely. And she's young and she's doing her thing, and she actually does her own recording, her own production, and everything.
Well, that's, you know what I'm saying? So she can at least maybe possibly actually get paid, which is what a lot of artists don't do. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm serious. Like no one's getting money right now. Live shows for the whole summer, we're dead. Don't let people talk and don't let people fool you. I don't know how deep you are in the industry, but I know enough people, and I know people are going broke for this past summer because everything that live shows was keeping the industry afloat.
No,
don't let anybody tell you any different. You know what I'm saying? So, because streaming ain't paying nothing, and it's just all these other third-party opportunities. That's why everybody has 360 deals, because the music itself, like I started out the show saying, isn't tangible. It doesn't make money. Just the music itself, it has to do something else in order to make the money. You have to perform or something. So, if she's got a really great live show to go with that, and she's the producer, then she probably can get a check. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And I totally get it, because outside of being a journalist, a radio personality, and all that stuff, like, I'm a music artist too.
Yeah.
And I tell people, they're like, you go hard everything. I'm like, I ain't got no choice, because even though I love doing what I do as a music artist, and that's always been number one, I'm realistic to reality right now. Yeah, I see those streaming numbers, but them streaming numbers right now ain't paying no bills.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, as an entertainer, I was making a majority of my money performing 3-4 times a week.
Right.
That's where the money came in. And then doing the clothing line and the merchandise. Yeah. That's how I was getting paid as an artist. And before that, I was making money with the music when I was selling CDs, not from streaming.
Right. So nobody, listen, bottom line, I bought two cars over the last maybe 5 years. And over the last 5 years, I bought 2 brand new cars, and neither one of those cars came with a CD player in there. It wasn't in the car at all. That tells you what's happening right now, people. The dealer was like, they don't put CDs in cars anymore, sir. I'm like, where's my CD? I'm like, I'm going to pay you a lot of money for this car. There's no CD player. They don't put CD players in cars. You know what I'm saying? Because I drove my same car for a nice little long time until it was like,
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's time for me to get another car because I'm kind of frugal. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a stunt
Absolutely.
guy. So my old car
Absolutely.
went down. I was like, okay, it's time for me to go car shopping, I guess. I can
Mm-hmm.
what I want. But I got a brand new car. And I'm like, yeah, what's my CD player? It's like, yo, it's the last time you bought a car, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't flip cars every day. You know what I'm saying? So, so he was like, yeah, they don't put them in cars. So that's done. That's on its way out. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, this is where we're at in the game. So I think an artist like that song that we just heard, I think they can win. I just think they're gonna just really need a really dope live set, a live show. But like you said, if she's also the producer, she'll get a bit more of the points and publishing off of it too. So yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's funny you're talking about the CD player thing. That's the same thing with laptops. A lot of them is not even coming with the
Right.
so you play a CD. And I was telling artists, I'm like, okay, stop being so comfortable trying to bring CDs to show before this whole pandemic and stuff, because a lot of DJs are letting you know, if you ain't got no flash drive, like I don't care. Nah, I'm good. Go.
Right. Nobody, no, this nice expensive Mac laptop that I'm broadcasting with you on right here was not cheap and does not have a CD player. You know what I'm saying? It have a CD-ROM, DVD-ROM drive on it, and it costs as much as a used car. So you know what I'm saying? So let's not get ourselves with where that's going as far as the industry needs to be concerned. All right.
Yeah. But one thing I won't take away from it, I tell people, because like what is it, disc makers and stuff, they still be sending me promos about packaging music don't get me wrong, I tell people, just because something is fizzing out does not mean it's like completely gone. I know an artist right now who just dropped the project and he just sold about like 5,000 CDs in like a short period of time, because his fans, whether they like it or not, they still have CD players at home. They still have computers that still have the CD thing in it where they can play it, and they still was supporting him. But I was telling him, congratulations, but just know that it ain't gonna always be like that. So take advantage of this moment that your real supporters are still gonna buy these CDs, so you can make that money like that instead of only relying on streaming. But it's not always gonna be like that.
And if they want to, here's my thing with that. If you have real fans, all right, if they really are your fans, you can put the MP3s for download with cover art and everything on your website. You can distribute it via Apple or however you want to do it and make them pay for the download so they can actually have it. If they really want to support you, they don't necessarily even have to have that tangible product, which is a CD. But CDs, I wouldn't, like I tell it, if you were an independent artist, I tell you to do them up by the 1,000. You know what I'm saying? Like like back in the day when I was a younger artist and I was really going hard and turn of the century and stuff, when I came out, I was printing up 5,000 off the gate. You feel what I'm saying? Like my first order would be 5,000 from disc makers. You know what I'm saying? And then I would order more, but I was moving them. I was getting them off of them because I was out here and I was doing my thing as an independent artist. You know what I'm saying? I made money. Period. I stopped making money. The like these songs that I just released right now. This is like, it's weird to me because it's like I don't even have to worry about that part of it right now because I'm just like this is the first time I've ever released music and it has a video and everything, but there's no CD. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the first time I have no posters, I have no flyers. I just put it into the digital space, and it was like, I can kind of get used to this. You know what I'm saying? At this point, the younger generation, y'all got it sweet, fam. Like seriously, y'all really got it sweet. But I'm not telling you not to get these tangible, like you said, get the CDs and get that stuff, the merch over everything. You know what I'm saying? Like the hats and the T-shirt. Like, hey, that shit. Excuse me, that stuff is never going away. So the merch is, the popularity contest, the streams can turn into money if you get really popular and people are streaming your music like crazy and you're popular and you can convert it via the merch. You know what I'm saying? Even when the live shows are going, if you can convert it via the merch, you still gonna win.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I love the merch. I'd be like, what? I come to the shows with everything. I tell them from the comfort of my feet, heels, sneakers, flats, sandals, and then I make sure in my bag I have my CDs, posters, merch. Because at the end of the day, even if it's a show that I just came to support or did for free, they're like, well, why are you doing free show stills? I said, at the end of the day, it's new ears to what I do.
Right.
And I'm going to make the money through what I'm going to be selling to them. I'm always going to take advantage of every situation. And that's one thing that made me uncomfortable before this whole situation happened. When it came to a lot of artists, they got too big headed too quickly because of the numbers on social media. Well, I got this many people on following me on SoundCloud. This how many people follow me on Instagram. So at the end of the day, you got to pay me for this. I'm like, first of all, you ain't even hot.
Yeah, because all those people are following you from where? Okay, my venue is in Atlanta. So how many of those people are actually in Atlanta that actually going to pull up and sit down at the bar and buy a drink so I can cover the door and cover the bar and cover my expenses as a promoter? So I mean, and by the way, we all know that you can buy follows and views, by the way. You know what I'm saying? So like how many of those people, because here's the thing, and it's crazy because as someone that has a platform myself I run K100 Radio, like I said, and so I'm the guy. I know everything that goes on. You don't know how many times I've had a manager or someone tell me how hot the artist is. You feel what I'm saying? But if I do an interview with you for free or whatever, and we post it up on our podcast, we post it up on our YouTube channel or whatever, and you even share the fact that you're going to be on K100 Radio, and when we do the show, like nobody's watching live. You know what I'm saying? But I could get I've seen artists who you probably have never heard of, but they got an insane local following. And when we go live on the show, 300 people are on my live stream, on my Facebook live, on my Instagram live, just checking for that one particular artist. Even when we do our music review show, people calling in, my stream jumps up because this one particular artist is just got a lot of actual real people. Not a lot, but you said that you were the next big thing, and you've got a blue check by your name with 100,000 people on all your social media. But if you're doing a live interview, why nobody's tuning in for it? You shared it on your social media. You feel what I'm saying? So you shared on your social media that you're going to be on K100 Radio doing an interview, but when I go live, nobody's listening. When I post it up on something, when I post a replay up, that you reshare again on your page again, and it's on YouTube available, 100 views. Meanwhile, this young kid, I just did an interview with a guy who's got, we did his interview, and I knew right then, I was like, this guy has a real following, because when I went live on the show, he had people calling in our switchboard. There were people resharing. You know, I can tell when you're lying. There are people resharing the stream, all this kind of stuff. People jumping on the Facebook live stream. All these people are sharing. I never seen these people on my stream before. And then when I dropped the YouTube channel, it's got 5,000 views in a week. That artist has a following. You can talk to me all you want to. I know for a fact that particular artist definitely has a following, and I'm checking for him heavily now.
Absolutely.
So you can't really fool someone like me. You can't fool me. Yeah.
No, it's funny because earlier I was talking about this artist who just hit me up on Snapchat, like, hey, TQuest, I miss you so much. I'm like, how's everything? How's the music? And I remember a conversation we had, and when he first told me he did music, I'm like, oh, you do? He's like, yeah, I do music too. I said, that's great. I said, maybe one day you can open for me. He said, open for you? I have way more SoundCloud followers than you. I'm like, what that mean? I don't even use SoundCloud like that. What do you mean? I said, it's not about how many followers you have on there. It's all about how many followers are going to come through the door for the performance.
Exactly.
You know? And then you still have to know how to perform. Like, I said, you know what? Okay.
I can say sometimes, you know what I mean?
I was like, okay, because that's their brainwashed to that now. I got that followers, I'm popping. Clearly, I'm like, all right.
But it's a thing. It's ego and stuff like that. But like I said, we have so much infighting within the generation that I loathe that about urban music, because you don't really. Don't get me wrong, the rock and rollers had their little tiffs and stuff. The rock and rollers, when rock and roll was starting to transform and come through come and break up and go into hard rock and heavy metal, and it was some beef. It was a lot of beef. Them white dudes had some real live beefs going on and some real live animosity. And I understand hip hop, we had to go through our growing pains too, but I feel like now, okay, we're here now. We need to go ahead and start accepting everybody in the genre. Everybody need to start working together. Everybody need to, you know what I'm saying, figure this out and stop all the infighting amongst generations, because we've got stuff that we can teach the younger generation, and the younger generation has that energy that we can feed off of. And it's just that simple. It's got to go both ways.
All right. So you being the veteran, what would you like to see different happen in the next 5 years or so when it comes to the genre of hip hop and R&B?
I just like to what I just said. Also, I number first and foremost would like to see the stopping of the infighting in amongst the artists themselves, the old heads hating versus the mumble rappers. Like, I need for that to die immediately. You know what I'm saying? The ones who can sing and just making a song. It don't matter how many people like it. How many people come to the show? Okay, let's talk. You know what I'm saying? We need to start adopting that mentality. I would also like to see, just honestly, the if I'm being frank, our media, us people, these platforms, all these platforms, I would like to see our fans of the artist cultivate the platforms like they do the artists as well. Like, and I know that's a kind of a different subject, but it's really not. It's us as the people. I need for us to respect some of the younger entrepreneurs and some of the younger platforms that are providing great opportunities, just like they respect the Breakfast Club. You know what I'm saying? And I need for the artists themselves to respect these platforms, just like they respect the Breakfast Club or any other hot podcast that they feel like they're going to get a lot of traffic from. That's a big problem with hip hop and R&B artists and urban labels in general. They only want to support a platform when it's big, but your artist ain't big. But you want to support your artist until before they get big, but you don't want to support the smaller platforms when your artist is big. You're not paying it forward and paying it back either. Either way, you're not going forward or paying it forward or paying it back. You know what I'm saying? So that's a huge problem, I think, within the genre. As far as the music itself, though, I'd like to see a lot of collaborations with the older and the younger generation. You know what I'm saying? I'd like some of these young artists to kind of like stop rapping over the same exact kind of beats. You know what I'm saying? That drives me particularly insane per se, because that's one thing I miss is diverse production. So I know that you're capable of rapping on different kind of production. So why do you keep rapping on the same production? And I know that you can do better than that, but for some reason you don't want to. I need the DJs to start breaking different kind of music in so we can maybe, God forbid, actually get back to slow music in the club. I don't think we'll ever get back to that ever in life. Like, actually slow dragging, like, I think that is completely dead, tragically. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these kids wouldn't be here if those nights didn't exist. You know what I'm saying? If those slow drags didn't exist, a lot of y'all wouldn't even be here. But I get it. So there's a lot that we can fix. There's a lot that we can fix.
You know? Oh my gosh. Now I'm gonna try to you just dropped so much right there, and I have a comment for everything that you said. Okay, so the first thing you said when it comes to old versus young and keep coming at each other, right?
Right.
You're right. It definitely needs to stop. Let's just put out great content and call it a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you can listen to whatever you want to listen to. No one's forcing you to listen to certain things. Yes, a lot of syndicated radio stations are playing top 40, and they always say they play the same old. Well, guess what? You don't have to listen. You don't have to tune in. You're not forced to do that, especially when there's so many other stations and platforms, even online, underground, or whatever, that may be playing the music that you actually love, but you're rather complain instead of taking the time out to seek for what you truly desire.
Exactly.
You know, and it's funny when you're talking about the music and stuff. And, you know, I be getting on my DJs for the same thing. I said, look, stop talking about this new music and the trap and the mumble. Because at the end of the day, they still winning. They still selling. A lot of them got way more money than y'all. And at the end of the day, somebody like it. And it's all not bad. You just got to give it a chance because, like I said earlier, music is evolving. You got to evolve with it.
Right.
You know, and like you said, with the whole slow songs in the club, it's true because when I put out a single and it was on a slow pace, they're like, can you give me a dance track so I can play it in the club? I'm like, why can't you play this in the club? Back in the day, we used to vibe out the slow music.
Right. Yeah.
Why all of a sudden you can't do it now? You think the opener's not going to like it? The people in the club is not going to like it? You know, like, what do you mean? If you were a real DJ, you would know how to flip that thing in your mix. Like, no, we're going to slow it down because at the end of the day, a lot of you guys are going to be trying to hook up after the club parking lot pimping anyway. So let me start y'all off.
Right. And that was, and it's a vibe. But again, that was back when you had, well, that's another conversation for another show maybe, but you had DJs and you had MCs and you had people who could control the crowd. And now we have more people that just are relying on the music itself to do all of the work. And it's like, you're not I need for you to control the crowd as a host and a DJ, and I need for y'all to come together and set the tone. You can make it work if you're dope enough. Because they used to, but it's a different generation, and just like you don't have to have a full band to be a producer, you don't have to play an instrument to make music. You also don't technically have to know how to DJ to be a DJ now. You know what I'm saying?
That's another story. DJs are sensitive about that.
Yeah, you can get away with some kind of. I've seen DJs, so I'm like, you got a huge catalog, and you understand BPMs, but you're not moving the crowd. You know what I'm saying? You're just playing what's popular, and that's easy. I could do that. You know what I'm saying? But I can work Serato, and I'm not a DJ. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's a lot going on within the industry in our genre that we can address, that we can fix. But I wouldn't have it in as far as the genre I love. It is hip hop. It is urban music. It is hip hop. It's my number one, and R&B is my number two. And like I said, and probably until I expire, I can't envision in myself waking up one day saying, you know what? I think it's gospel for me, country for me now. Gospel possibly if I change my life and give it over to God, maybe. You know what I'm saying? But any other genre, I think I'm just gonna start listening to rock only. Like, no, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm 60, I'm gonna be listening probably to some form of hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I totally agree with you. And when you was talking about the R&B music, piggyback a little bit, and like the slow jams and how music used to be, I actually just hosted a DJ cafe, and I was like, we're gonna do an R&B edition. And the interesting part about the different dynamics with all the DJs, people was really gravitating to the ones who threw it back a few decades. They're like, oh, I remember this song. Right. Oh, I remember back in high school. And then just that feeling in that rush, I said, that's what we need right now in today's music.
Yeah, it has to be all, it's going to have to be all hands on deck if we want to pull any of this stuff we're talking about off. I mean, it has to be from the production, from the artists, from the record breakers, from the platforms. Everybody has to buy in to understanding that rap is a grown man, and it's got literally grandkids at this point. It had kids, you know what I'm saying? And now it's got grandkids, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's old enough to have grandkids now. We need to treat it different. Like it needs, so we got to feed it multivitamins now. You know what I'm saying? We need one a days. All right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, we losing free testosterone right now. We got to pump up. So we got to flourish. We got to cultivate. We can't just leave it out there and say, oh, they work itself out. No, we ain't no more, fam. We 40 something. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is 40 years old. So we probably got some grandbabies. All right. So let's go ahead and let's start feeding into the genre and feeding into it and helping it just flourish in the times that it's in right now. And that takes everybody, everyone who has a hand in the genre, from the business and the music side. I know that's asking a lot of the record labels will never adopt, I don't think, this mentality. And I think the number one reason is it's a lot harder to screw over a 40-something, 30-something-year-old artist than it is a 19-year-old artist that's just coming into the world and just wants to be an artist. And it's a lot easier to feed them that crazy 360 deal where you take everything. It's easier for them to come along to your model of business for the music. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to get the major labels on deck. So I understand that's a tall order, but everybody else, let's get on deck and let's make hip hop really dope all the way around the board for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, absolutely.
We owe it to the culture in the genre,
right? Yeah,
and like you said earlier, when it comes to you artists, right now you can actually win. Just focus more. Don't forget about artist development. Like a lot of you guys don't even know that it exists, which is horrible. That's a whole nother topic discussion.
It's gonna take an hour of just
exactly. It's horrible. But invest in yourself, invest in your marketing, and do your research. Know who to gravitate to. Know who are the right people that really want to be in your corner to help push your stuff and spin. And like you said earlier about websites and stuff, and make sure you have your music that's downloadable through Apple Music and etc. Because that's what I have on my website, where you can actually purchase my singles from my website. And then I'm about to invest in adding the in-app purchase on my mobile app as well.
Right.
You know, because at the end of the day, I want my fans to support me, and I want you to support me through my own platforms.
Yeah.
You
So we
know?
can remove ourselves from censorship and remove ourselves from people cutting off the lives when we playing music. And don't get me started. You got to know now.
I'm not gonna get you started, but it was been a pleasure for you being on the platform. I hope that you'll have time to come on the show again, because I feel like there's a lot of things that we can touch on.
Yeah.
So in this last minute, reminding people who you are again, where you from, and where they can find all your amazement.
Well, listen, like I said, my name is Blizm, and I'm the founder and program director over at K100 Radio, and I'm also an independent artist. I started out into the music industry as an independent artist, and I, got my chops in producing and engineering, and graduated over to the media side and started a really great platform that shows a lot of love and support for the independent music artists, which I was myself, and that's why I created it. But at the end of the day, anything that you want to know about me is all centrally located on the K100 Radio website. That is K100radio.com, the letter K, the number 100, K100radio.com. Check that out, and just click the link that says Blizm, and my whole bio's there. The recent releases that I just put out, a single called Time Changes. The video is out right now on YouTube. It just came out last week, doing really great, getting crazy positive feedback. It's been placed on like 7 different websites and video websites and blogs, because people are just like, okay, we love this one. Where you been? You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it feels really good to just drop some music after a long couple of years of hiatus from just dropping music as an artist, just only focusing on K100 Radio and growing that brand. But yeah, everything is at K100radio.com, and that's where you can find out anything you need to know about me.
I love it. And me and Radis need to focus on you as an artist and a businessman. It's all about you one day.
Yeah.
Saying so, have your people call my peoples. I can put you on my sketch. And we can make it happen, Captain. Once again, special shout out to K September and her song A Song to You, that is available on all social media platforms. You can follow her on social media at K September. And you guys know it's a wrap for another TQuest show. Relatable, informative, yet entertaining. You know how I do. I like to cater to my fans. So at the end of this, you can go to that TQuest mobile app, which you can download in your Google Play Store and your App Store. And special information is always up there. So just in case you didn't quite catch it in the live show, you can always go back there to get their emails, their website, their social media, etc., because I make it easier for the fans, because without you guys, who would I be? It's your girl TQuest. Follow me on all social media platforms at TQuestGLM. Until next time.
All right.
Bye.